Are you ready to see this?
Yep, so right ahead.
And all this rooted from, I'm just checking the links, making sure they're good. Okay. This is all rooted from you, basically wanting to do a Thanksgiving post, right? And you sent me this Feed America site, and we were like, hey, it would be cool to do something for Thanksgiving, post, and do this kind of with ArcGIS. So when digging into it, right, we were like, oh, we need to get the data. So I'm gonna kind of just go through how I put this in this application and kind of work the problem. So if you refresh this, this site is using an API. So I just kind of looked for the request potentially that this API was using, and let's see if we can get it. Let me go to state. Let's pick a state here, so if we can get a fire off here. Let's go VID. What state? Where is get organizations, right? So I saw this and it looked like they had an API, so this is super cool. So if you take a look at this API, it's got a couple routes on it. Make this larger if you can see it. You've got a get states and a bunch of other stuff. One I was looking for is get by state, because when I tried to hit this get all organizations, it's just way too much. So there's some like documentation here. I'd love to kind of have a pipe into this to ArcGIS Online. I think a lot of people will find it really useful, but ended up working with this, and if you type in like AL for like Alaska, you get a little XML feed. So this is queryable. One thing that I noticed that's different here versus what's in the site is, notice this has a state equals Alabama or Alaska, whatever that is, right? And that gives you that same feed, which we know that means it's a GET request, right? So we can do MD or AZ, right? And there's some geographical information in here. So if you look for latitude, longitude, each of these organizations will have latitude and longitude. So this does not obviously go right into ArcGIS. It's not, it's like some, it's Feed America's API format. So in order to get this into something we can create a map out of, we got to kind of script this out of here. So to do that, I'm going to do this in Python and just kind of work through the problem here. First thing we're going to need is like a states an array, right? So a key pair of all of the states that we're going to be iterating through, because remember that API. Through those looking through the XML, I identified what attributes I wanted, like full name, for example. So if you look here, you'll see full name is an attribute. So I went through and just quickly grabbed the useful information that we needed, just so that we could parse through the data. From there, I'm just gonna kind of work through the looping of that. So for each state, so basically how do we get all this data? We're gonna go for state in states. Right, and I'm going to loop through all the states that I want to get. I'm going to make a request. I'm going to use the request library to do this. So go here and just add this request library here. And from there, we're going to make a request.get. So request.get and pass it that URL. So grab this thing here. And instead of state hard-coded BAZ, we're going to add a plus and the states attribute, right? So if I printed this out, I think we've got to get the r.content, right? Or just this URL, actually. First, I just want to show you the loop. So let's set a variable here called request URL is equal to this, and let's print request URL. Anybody live in our chat, Tyler? Anybody? No one's gonna join. And all right, cool. We got 2 live. Let's see what we got going on here. Python 3. Let's see. Let's go to, so we've got our request URL. Let's get rid of this for a second here. states. Nice. If you're joining, the reason we're doing this obviously is for Thanksgiving, and we're also trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So Tyler, I don't know where you are here. I can pull you up on my screen, and you can say hi, but I got Tyler in my ear here.
Hey everybody.
I don't think they can hear you, but doesn't matter. Let's keep going. State and states. Okay, that's fine. We're going to do the request library. We're using that. I just want to print out our request URL here. What's our deal? Line 8 request URL that cannot only. Oh, that's state. Sorry, I'm just messing up. Cool. So those are all our state request URLs there. So we're going to go basically request each of them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a GET request for our each of these states, and from there I think we're going to want to, and that's going to be a GET request by default. The next thing we're going to do is just make sure we're getting content back from that. Get our request URL, and then we have that object. From there, let's go ahead and just print out our r.content, right? And instead of hitting their API a whole lot, I'm just gonna kind of do this for 1 until I get all my code squared away here. Right? So I'm gonna go here. Maybe we'll just do it for 2. All right, so we'll hit our request and then we'll hit our body. Right, awesome. So bringing me back that XML. Maybe I can make this a little bigger for those who can't. Everybody can see. All right. From here, we are going. Let's go ahead and parse this, get this into JSON, and you know, kind of convert it from XML. So I'm going to use a library called this guy here. That's his. This thing. It's like it's a pretty well documented Python library. I'm sure there's a million things out there to do it. This is the one I'm going to use. Basically, I'm going to parse that content. So I'm going to get that XML content, and I need to import my library. Let's go here. All right, and let's go ahead and print that out. Let's make sure this is an actual XML object. Nice. So now I have my structured data, XML structured data. From there, probably going to want to get that as JSON because it's come back as a string. So I'm going to do import JSON. So we're definitely going to need that. Probably a couple other things we're going to need. I'm going to want to flatten these attributes. So import, let's see, flat. Dictionary, and NumPy. Maybe we'll need NumPy. Nah, I think I can do this without NumPy. All right. What do we got to do next, Tyler? So parse this into JSON. So JSON.dumps. Yeah, that's what you would do. This would be XML content. Okay, and let's load that into an object. So this, I know this kind of seems weird, but I kind of got to get it from a string and then read it in, and then be able to work with it in Python, because otherwise it's a JSON object, but it's a string, right? So I'll spell that way out. All right, let's console log this and make sure I'll print this. Make sure this is working properly. Nope. She cannot read the string properly. So that loads. That load. There we go. All right, now I've got everything as a JSON object. One thing I know already about the API is that if I do this for like AL, I'm only going to get, I can get many organizations. Let me go to like AK. Notice that I only get one organization. And when this converts into JSON, you'll see that the output of it is kind of, one's a dictionary, one's a string. So we need to kind of handle that edge case. So we're going to do if the type of, let's see here, and one thing that might make sense is to actually log out, write out this JSON. So let's go ahead and it's kind of like a little helper function here. I've got this here. So let's create a folder, this JSON, and let's make it state. I think that's the way to do it. State plus JSON. All right, our output file, good there. What's wrong with this thing? Okay. State.json plus, sure, syntax is right there. All right, and then we're going to write a file. Let's just go ahead and dump these objects out. Let's see if this works. All right, that executes. So now I have a file in here per state, right? And if you can see here, this is an array. I've got many organizations. This one, if I prefab this, its organization is an object, and there's only one. So we need to handle that edge case in our script. So we're going to basically say, so let's get our let's identify our organization in that JSON. So if you look at here, we've got array of organization. And then inside there, we've got another object or key, which is called organization. So I'm going to kind of create a new variable that is everything part of that organization. And then I need to test what type it is. So basically figuring out whether it's a list or a dictionary. Right? If it's a dictionary, it's 1. So if I go for here and I say, instead of print organization, I can also say print more than 1, print only 1, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Confirm that everything's hunky-dory there. All right, so for the first state, we've got, and I'll put state here so we can see. I also can't see anybody chatting. Chat it out. Chat.
I'm trying to.
No, not you. Just the people in here. How many people are in here right now? No one?
The description section. One is watching currently.
Cool.
Better than nothing.
Yeah, tell us who you are. All right, what's next? So now we know whether there's one or many. So now we need to basically go and format our final data. We have attributes that we want to get out of that. So I'm going to say for each of my organizations in my organizations array, right, either one or many, I basically want to append my state array to these. So if it's a list, it's going to be just fine if it is org array. Otherwise, it's let's see. I gotta put something in here. Ooh, I could just replace this here. So sorry, optimizing code. If it's a dictionary, let's replace it. Otherwise, leave it alone. That way we don't have to have this else here. There's no need to it. No need to have it. So now that we're guaranteed to have a list of the state's organizations, we're going to basically loop through them, and let's create a new object for them, which is basically going to hold our our final attributes for each of the organizations. Object is equal to, and then let's create one. So let's just put one of our own in here, so we know state is equal to the state that we're working in. All right, so we've got a new object, and then we're going to go for all the values that we want. So for key and keys wanted, these guys up here, Tyler. Right, these are the keys from the JSON that we want. So each of these are in here, right? And so these are the ones that we want to pull for this. And then basically we're going to format that. So we're going to say the new object of our wanted key, which is now key, is equal to the org, and then key. So we have a new object of just the keys that we specified, that we know that live in these things. And I want to JSON to, I'm going to go to CSV because ArcGIS Online supports CSV. So I want to flatten this, and I'm going to use this flat dictionary library up here, which basically is going to flatten my data. And for things that fall outside of the object like tier in, it's going to put a dot to delineate between them. And then I'm going to append this to my new array. So I've created a new array that I want to basically track all of these formatted organizational objects that are coming from the API. So now that I have that, I think we're good. And really the next thing we want to do is just write out all of our JSON. So for each state we should do that. And I think let's run this. We wrote a lot of code. And we get that here. So run this. Oh, it's quite fast. Uh-oh. No, don't want to save that. Nope, don't want to save that. Let's go here. Oh, sorry. I'm writing out the same thing. I want to write out my new formatted array. That's it. Let's delete these. Alright, let's run this. Okay. Alright. So now we've got beautiful flat JSON objects of this data for each of the states. Wonderful. So we'll run that for all the states, and then we'll kind of merge them all into one. We'll do the write out not for each state, but at the end. So popping it out. Let's not write out for all the states. Let's do a all states feed America data. Okay. And after we write this out, we want to convert it to CSV. So I'm going to use pandas to do that. Let's go here and load this JSON, which I've just kind of identified here. And I don't think I need this plus anymore. There we go. That's why that looks funny. So I'm going to read it in, and then I'm going to write it out with pandas. Dun, dun, dun. Go here. All right. So pandas read. Let's get this guy here, which is the file that we just created, and then we're going to write it out to feed America all CSV. And we'll be really lucky if this works. And hit. All right. All CSV. Right, so we only did it for the two states. Right. So now that we've written our script, we can go ahead and do this on the full data set. And hopefully their API doesn't shut us down. All right, here we go. Get that all through it. Let's see. Now, how do you tell who's in here, Tyler?
I can't necessarily see who's in here, but I can see that 3 people are in here. So, like, click on the actual like live video
Oh, it says 3 watching.
in the description, yeah, it says
Okie dokie. There it is. There's our full data set. So it looks like for all the states, we've got about 230 listed in here. So now that we have our data and we have our lat longs in there, we can go over to ArcGIS Online and load this sucker in. So let me get into there. All right. So got a little section here carved out. So I'm going to add a data set. Let me go JSON, CSV. Let's drag this here. All right. We want to publish this as a feature layer. We want to, bring over all the attributes. That sounds good. We do have address information, but we also have lat long. So let's specify the latitude and longitude here. So this is latitude, and this is longitude. Go next. Let's go all state. Forgot that. We'll just leave that typo. All right. Take a look at that data. Looking good. Let's go ahead and visualize this. Let's go for here. Let's get the style. Let's pick an attribute here. Single style. Maybe we go, let's find a good icon here. There they are. All right. There we go. Cool. Let's do that. The other thing we want to do is we have some great attribute data in here, right? So like if you look at this, we've got like agency URLs and all kinds of cool attributes. And this pop-up's very cool. Let's spice it up a little bit. So let's go over to the style here. Where's the pop-up information? Pop-ups. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. Set our title to be the name of the actual location. Cool. That's the main thing. Let's add some media. Let's go for an image and an image URL here. I think this one is logo. Let's go. This guy. Done. Awesome. And let's add some text content that I've prepared here to make our pop-up look nice. All right. Cool. So we got the address, the phone number, the agency link, if you want to volunteer or donate, which is basically like what they have on their website here. So if you go here, you've got the address, the link, a couple links to volunteer and get in touch. But a little bit of a different display, but same concept. Let's go. I want to click that. All right, let's go back here. And let's change our base map. Let's go. Oh, this is save. This is for the full thing. Let's actually make a web map here with this. Dun dun dun. Rename. This is Feed America Food Banks. Got it. And let's see how we're doing. That looks good, right? Awesome. Let's change our base map to be navigation. Got it. Let's save this. Save as. Let's call this Feed America Web Map. Let's put this in the feed. Look at that. Let's see. All right. Now we have a web map that has got my feature layer in it, my CSV, and my web mapping application. So let's go ahead and create a quick little application for navigation, because that's what we're rocking on. Find a food bank. Let's go ahead and select our map. Let's go for this guy. Awesome. And I'm going to get out of this express mode here so I get all the configuration options here. Map description, we can do all kinds of things here, like put some text. Let's make this look nice. See if I can find a good image for us here. All right. Let's change our title. So let's go to the about, all details. Let's change our title and the introduction text here. And let's get some text from their website. Let's get rid of this here and put this. Let me see here. Let's go for, let's see, looking for an image. Well, Feed America. There we go. And this guy is way too large. If I can make him smaller. Oh, there's a little, see that little thing there, 100%. Close enough. All right, let's test how this works. So let's go for DC. Alright, 1 kilometer, let's change that to be the search settings. Let's go for, we're going to look for our feature layer. Our minimum distance is 1 probably, and our maximum distance, I don't know, 100 miles. Let's say 50 miles each search. 50 miles, change it to miles. Cool, and our pop-ups are coming through, that looks good. Let me save this and publish it. Alright, let's see what's under here. Explore map, turn some things on. I wanted to turn on the navigation because that's how we can get like turn by turn. So nearby, map results. Let's see where that is. Options, show directions for this. There we go. Let's take a look at this. That was basically telling me I'm using credits, ArcGIS credits to do the navigation, to use their routing engine. Got Feed America, Washington, DC. Should default to 50 miles. I should be able to click directions and I get turn by turn directions. And this here is using the Esri routing service in the nearby instant app. Super cool. You can print this out, head on to the local food bank, whether you're a volunteer or whatever. And of course you can make this look as good and you know, as simple as you need or complex. Use radiuses, or there's all kinds of configurations in this application to allow users to like edit these ranges, and there's some good theming options for this. So that's basically it, Tyler. It wasn't terrible, right? It was I had to write a little Python script to kind of pull that data down, and then once I had it in CSV, it's just ArcGIS Online, you know, from there.
Very cool, very simple. Pretty easy for anybody to pick up and try.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, well, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Just, I don't even think that took an hour. That was pretty quick. So, how do I turn this thing off?
Go back to OBS.
Oh yeah, here we go. All right, bye everyone.